Let's get more now on our top story in the conviction of Radovan Karadzic. Joining me now is Marko Gasic, the founder of the London-based Serbian Information Centre, which is a group representing Serbs from the former Yugoslavia. Thanks very much indeed for coming to talk to us. So what's your reaction to the verdict today?
Well, I have the sense that this verdict was written in 1992 when the conflict began. It's an entirely predictable verdict, not based on the facts, but based on the positions of those who formed the tribunal. If we remember, the tribunal wasn't formed under international treaty like the International Criminal Court. This tribunal was formed by a US diktat, financed by the US, and all its investigations had in fact been run by the US. So it produced a verdict that the US wanted.
Are you suggesting that none of the events that he's been found guilty of actually happened at all, or what are you suggesting?
Well, my view is that you had a complicated three-sided war internally, which could have been avoided if the US had accepted the peace deal that the Europeans brokered in March 1992, instead of encouraging the Bosnian Muslim president Izetbegovic to go back on his agreement to that agreement. And so from then, the accumulated evil of the whole is contained in those diplomatic mistakes at the beginning.
Well, he did face 11 separate charges, including genocide, extermination, forced removal, crimes against humanity. And it was a trial that lasted 8 years. A lot of evidence has been brought during that time, and he has had a chance to defend himself. Some of the victims say that the sentence that they saw today wasn't strong enough.
I think you have to bear in mind that this tribunal was formed by one of the belligerents. The US has been actively involved as a bombing and attacking party in this war, and it wants to be involved in future wars as well. So this is US-NATO conflict number one.
An end to the conflict, though, wasn't it?
No. The US could have stopped the conflict in March '92. It could have had 2 other peace agreements it could have agreed to, which would have stopped the war earlier.
So
the fact is the US didn't want the war to stop until it was good and ready in 1995.
So obviously one could rehearse the kind of the history of it over and over again. In terms of the present and where this leaves the country, is there any possibility, given the kind of division that we're seeing in terms of the reaction to this, your view and the very strong views of the people who feel that they were victims of Karadzic and his entourage, is there any possibility of a reconciliation and moving forward in the area?
There can only be a reconciliation when all sides, including the US side, admit and accept their role in the events. And there's enough guilt to go around for everybody, including in Srebrenica, where the forces of Nasser Oric killed so many civilians before 1995. And according to General Morion, the commander of UN forces, created the horrific scenario there that then did occur in 1995. I think all sides need to know what they did wrong and accept what they did wrong. Only then can we move forward together into a better future.
But in the meantime, so do you accept that that the court's verdict stands? Or, I mean, Karadzic has said he will appeal against the verdict. Are you saying that there's no point appealing if you don't agree with the whole premise of the court? This
tribunal is a tribunal, not a court, and it's got ad hoc rules which will make sure that he will not get out of jail ever. So it's a farce, but he will have to go through the motions. He has no other choice. But if we want truth, we should look for truth and reconciliation, not to this tribunal.
OK, Marko Gasic, thank you very much indeed for coming to talk to us. Appreciate it. Thank you.